Welcome to The Community Table, a discussion series about real life with diabetes. Community Table is presented to you by Beyond Type 1 and made possible with support from Lilly Diabetes and Dexcom. Hey everybody, and welcome to Community Table, a monthly discussion series where we have unfiltered and honest conversations about real life with diabetes. I'm Tiana Cooks, Senior Community Manager from Beyond Type 1, where our mission is to help people with diabetes stay alive and thrive. Today, we are honored to speak with Kyle Banks and Carlos Gonzalez. Kyle Banks is the founder of Kyler Cares, a nonprofit organization who works to improve health outcomes for people of color living with diabetes by improving access to diabetes technology, creating connections to education and resources, and fostering community as an added system of support on our journeys. Carlos is a former chef who learned that great food can be healthy and tasty after his diagnosis of type 2 diabetes in 2019. Carlos is also the owner and founder of Be Snow Mode, his company that helps people live a healthier and happier life with diabetes. Today, he cooks often and works out every day, documenting his fitness journey on Instagram. Kyle and Carlos, thank you so much for joining us. Both of you are advocates in real life, and I absolutely love that you've been able to take your diagnosis in just a short amount of time and turn it into something that will leave a lasting impact on people in the diabetes community. And I really want to highlight that today. So, Kyle, to start off with you, we know that you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes just 9 years ago in 2015. So, since your diagnosis, you started your own organization, Kyler Cares, in 2020. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit more about Kyler Cares and the work that you've been able to do there?
Sure. Please excuse the construction happening in the background if the noise is coming through. But great to be here, Carlos. Nice to meet you. Yeah, it's just always a pleasure. I started Kyla Cares in 2020, as you mentioned, and it's all about connecting with people living with the disease and also connecting them, the people that we're connected with. Many of whom are from underserved communities and experience barriers to access to healthcare and access to the many resources that we use to manage this disease. So, the goal of our foundation is to just make sure that everyone has the information needed and to properly manage this disease, and also access to those resources so that they can just do what they need to do to have a more stable glucose.
Thank you. That's important. I think all of the work that you do is so critical, especially as you mentioned, in underserved areas and people that may not otherwise have access to these resources. So I hope that you know what you're doing is never undervalued or underappreciated and it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you for all the work that you do and for being here today. And Carlos, my guy Carlos, you've been living with type 2 diabetes since 2019. So, since the time of your diagnosis, you have started Be Snow Mode and you share both nutrition and fitness information online on your personal channels. So, why is it so important to you to be a resource for people who are seeking more information on these topics?
Well, it's just the fact that nobody's educated about it, and that's the crazy thing. Because before I was diagnosed, I had no idea about diabetes. I knew like I was here and there and whatnots, but not how it affects. What you eat affects it, and how you exercise or anything like that affects it. So I more like everybody else in America or anybody else around the world, small percentage of people understand. So I wanted to put that information out there to diabetics that just became diabetic, type 1 or type 2, and people that are non diabetics that are in relationships or family members that just got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes to understand a little bit more better, to ask questions and know and be educated about them, to be able to be in that community to help somebody that needs help that doesn't understand it as well so they can learn together and build together.
That's amazing. And I know Be Snow Mode, like that's such a cool name. What is the thought behind it and how did you come up with
Well, it took some thought. I was just thinking it's just like everybody's beast mode. They got like there's a switch to be beast, to be a beast and everything. As I think as beast no mode, as you're always a beast. There's no mode. Always sitting there in mode, ready to go. Battle, war, nutrition, exercise, the gym, anything you do in life, and you're just always a beast. So I just felt like there's no mode.
That is so dope. I love that. And Carlos, I also just love the energy and positivity that you bring to the type 2 community and the type 1 community. You've just done so much work online, and I've kind of been a fan from afar for quite some time now. So it's always nice to be able to speak with you and to learn about all of the exciting things that you're up to. So thank you. And thanks for joining us to share more about our Beast No Mode. I'm going to have to join.
Join the movement.
There you go. And speaking about like resources, Kyle, we just kind of touched on a couple of the things that you have going at Kyler Cares, but we know that you have a variety of resources from patient assistance programs to school resources. So, can you explain in more detail what the programs are and why these resources are so important to the community?
Oh, most definitely. So we, like you mentioned, we offer a number of resources, all of which are all of focused on gaining better access, like better access to technology. So we offer diabetes technology assistant grants for people who are wanting to access CGMs and insulin pumps, which people of color are not accessing at the rate in which we should be, given like how beneficial those devices are to just helping us manage our glucose. We're also working to improve health literacy and diabetes education within these communities. Because, as Carlos mentioned a little earlier, we're just not on top of all the latest with management, all the latest tools, all the latest resources, all the latest management practices. So, just getting the information out there so people just have the intel they need to properly manage the disease and access to the resources. So we're also connected to like all the diabetes manufacturing companies. Just staying on top of like all of the latest offerings that they're bringing to the table, so that we're just aware and ready to let the people know what's happening out here in these
That's
streets.
amazing. So where can people go? Like if they're looking for like these resources, where do they go to find them?
Can visit us at our website, kylercares.org. Send us a message. You can also find us on all the social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. Slide in our DM and we'll get right back to you.
Oh, slide into the DMs.
Slide into
Okay.
the DM.
I love it. So y'all know where to find them.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that information with us. I think it's going to be incredibly helpful for a lot of people to navigate to those opportunities. Carlos, I mean, same type of question. We know that some of the most helpful resources we can really just get from people who have experienced the condition in real life, right? And so, as someone that has diabetes and also talks about it online, what are what are some of the questions that you often receive from people in the community?
A lot of questions like maybe, oh, am I supposed to stay away from bread, rice? Are you not, like every other question like every diabetic gets, oh, are you supposed to be eating that, or can I eat this, or just like in general how it works. There's just like they're not that educated, just assume like diabetes, sugar, anything that has sugar is bad. And like they try to avoid like the plague, and they ask me the same thing. So can I eat this, or do you think this is safe, or how to like questions like, oh, can I how do I get diabetes, am I at risk, or how come bigger people like me, other people big as I am, don't have it and some do. I just answered a question as in Some people it just runs in the family. It's just genetically, and anything's all that can alter that. Also, non-movement in the body can also hinder that as well. There's just a lot of questions, and it's really easy to answer because a lot of them are just not knowing. So we just try to keep that information out there as well, just mainly in person. And a lot of the research I've done myself, and I've looked through online different kind of studies and articles and just sifted through a lot of things. I had a lot of time when I was in the hospital and recovering to sit there and just read. So all this information I grabbed and try to retain it and try to help everybody else out with it.
Yeah, that's huge. And you said like people sometimes really just don't know these questions, and accessing a healthcare provider is not easy for everyone. And so being able to literally go online and be like, hey, I'm wondering how I can eat bread, or if I can do this, and you're a person right there that's readily available. So that's awesome. Thank you. So people can slide through your DMs too if they need if
Yeah,
they got questions, right?
you can find me on any platform as well, even TikTok, but I'm really on there. But you can still find me on there. It's Beast No Mode anywhere, except I don't have a .org like Kyle down there does. He's a little more advanced than I am. I got to get on his level there and get that information out there as well. Even reach even more people and get with Kyler down there to even produce to get with him and link up to get his information out there as well, so you can find it through him through me or me through him, and it's just a community thing.
Yeah,
There
most
you go.
definitely. We're all in this together, right, Carlos?
Sure.
We sure are. And Kyle, I have a very similar question. Like, what are some of the biggest barriers that you've seen people in the community face? Questions that they've asked you specifically, and you've been able to be a real life advocate for folks within the diabetes community, and as well as yourself.
Well, I mean, there's so many barriers. It's like a layered situation. There's the cost associated with diabetes. There is like accessing healthcare providers because there's just a shortage of endocrinologists. So a lot of people don't have a connection to endocrinology. And if they do, sometimes it takes a long time to get appointments. Then get into the clinician's office and people are experiencing just the implicit biases that some certain providers have, and they're not being made aware of the technology that's available, or prescribed it for that matter. And it's just causing a real issue there. Communication and cultural barriers that come into play when people are interacting with healthcare providers, which just leads to more issues with them being able to just access the information or just have a better understanding of how the disease is operating in the body and what they need to do to manage it. So it's a layered issue, and but I think these are issues that can be addressed, and
Mhm.
we're working with like other industry leaders and other orgs to sort of support people on this journey with the disease.
Absolutely. And if someone does come to you with some barrier that they're facing, it's nice that you have a lot of resources directly to point them to, right?
Right,
Whether
right.
that's, you know, access to insulin, or I was looking through your website today and just love how built out it looks. And I think that this is just the beginning, right? Like there's going to be so much more. So I'm
This is
excited to see
this
how
is just the beginning, and we're also trying to tackle it from like a both sides of the coin. From
yeah.
like the patient side, and but also from like the system side, working with healthcare systems and uh, talking with doctors about how they could just have a more empathetic approach to care, and diabetes technology manufacturers, and making them aware of like some of the barriers that people experience when trying to access their tools. Even as far as like the FDA, and making them aware of like as they're approving devices that there are certain
Yeah.
things that can triggers that can be in place that could possibly help making access these devices more attainable for a lot of people who aren't.
what are three pieces of advice that you would give to someone who is trying to be their own advocate, whether that is at the school or at a doctor's office? Like, how do you encourage people to advocate for themselves or even just find resources that they need?
Well, I know for me, when I was first diagnosed, I had no idea what having diabetes meant. I was even shocked that I had it, or was diagnosed with it for for a number of reasons. But I tapped into like the online community, and Tiana, you were one of the first people I actually connected with, and I began asking a lot of questions and doing a lot of research into like what I was dealing with, and how I could go about, just managing this disease without it affecting my life so in such a horrible way and preventing me from continuing on like the path that I was on at the time of my diagnosis. So education is extremely important. And when you're in the clinician's office, I would suggest, go in prepared, like write down your questions so that, you can make sure that your concerns are addressed. And if your doctor is explaining something and more than likely the information is going over your head, express that. Like, can you break that down, or in layman's terms, or in terms that someone who is not like a math and science genius might understand. So, there are ways to definitely go about advocating for oneself, but we must not be afraid to speak up, and also just let people know that you don't understand. You need a better explanation would be, or a different way of explaining it could be helpful. No, there's no shame. Just we're all learning something new.
Oh, I just got the chills that whole time. Like, when you just said we can't be afraid to speak up, right? And oftentimes I think that fear drives us away from doing the right thing, the thing that we need to help us, especially in our diabetes management and our journey with diabetes. And so, like what you just said, like I encourage anybody, if you have questions and you're like, I don't know what they just said. I just left the doctor's office and I'm confused. Like, you should never leave feeling that way. And if you do, you there's always the online community too during that lag time when you're not seeing a provider, right? Where you can also ask people questions, very mindfully, considering that they're not actual healthcare professionals, but
Right.
still a place to take advice and to find community.
Hmm.
And speaking of community, Carlos, we know that you recently became a certified nutrition and coach and personal trainer. So, how have you been able to build that community, and what practices do you like to share with your clients in regards to both eating and personal training?
Eating and personal training kind of go into one thing. Most of the time, actually 100% of the time, is what we're eating. Especially for being diabetics or anything like that. It's mainly nutrition. You can go out, run a mile, 2 miles. You can run your heart out to your drop tired and anything like that. It's still not going to change it. As soon as you go home, you eat a whole piece of pizza or pie or whatever you go in your refrigerator, clean it out. It just negated the whole thing, and then it goes your blood sugars. So it's mainly 80% nutrition that I want everybody to make sure that you can don't restrict yourself, everything in moderation. Because once you restrict yourself, you're going to want to eat it because everybody likes the forbidden things in life and doing things they're not supposed to because everybody's rebellious. So we try to keep everybody in nutrition standards, everything in moderation, portion sizes, and just medial exercise like 30 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, 3 or 4 days out of the week, and everybody can stay as long as you're staying active. That's all we want. We want to start out small and work our way big. We don't want to go big in the gym because then anybody that does that, once you start going really really hard in the gym in the beginning, you start to fall off. And then that would just repeats that whole cycle of, oh, I'm not want to go to the gym, wait 3 months again, and then, oh, go really really heavy in the gym and then fall off again. We want consistency throughout nutrition and consistency throughout working out.
Totally. There's a process So we just need to stay the course and make sure that we're following your guidance in terms of what you recommend your clients, both nutritionally and physically. I know, for example, I'm one that definitely probably overworks myself, especially if I don't know what I'm doing. I'll just go in there and like work out until I feel like I can't walk. And then I'm like, all right, we're good. So definitely take it in moderation, take Carlos's advice. But that community aspect is huge. I think when you are able to integrate yourself in a community of people that have mutual interest and they're like-minded, whether that's with fitness, with diabetes, there's a community for everybody, right? Doesn't matter what you're going through, there's a community for you. And Kyle also does a really great job at fostering a sense of community within the diabetes community and is working on some very exciting things this year and plans that he's got coming up for the diabetes space. But Kyle, I just wanted to touch base on your resource that you recently launched for the kiddos. The series is called Kyler Bear and Friends. It is so cute. So, Kyle, will you share a little bit more with us about the series?
For sure. Yeah, we're very excited about Kyla Bear and Friends T1 Diaries. It's an animated series that we launched through our Learning Through Media platform. It's an 8-part animated series which teaches kids, elementary school age kids, just lessons around life with type 1 diabetes. We use the art of storytelling because in former life. I was in former life, meaning last year I was an actor. Um, so, I just know the power of storytelling and the use of animation and music and the power that it possesses in simplifying extremely complicated ideas into digestible information that people can just remember in a song. When you're diagnosed, all the things that pricking your finger and drawing a little blood can do when when you're trying to manage your glucose. I mean, there's so many like little cute songs in the animation, and I had all of my friends that on Broadway uh, to come and voice the to voice the characters for the animation, and a bunch of really amazing producers that I'm connected with help with the music. And so I just think it's going to be really a great tool that kids can use, parents can use, even endocrinologists, pediatric endocrinologists in the office, in the clinician's office can use to just teach, to simplify the lessons around type 1 diabetes and management.
The videos are so cute. I watched the one that's like on the landing page of the website and cried. I was watching it like this is so cute. The songs are very catchy, but it is just so relatable, especially for a young kid who maybe can't really explain their diabetes to their classmates or doctors who want to explain diabetes to their new patients. There's so many different versatile ways that those videos and that series can help people and really educate them on diabetes.
Yeah. Thank you, Tiana. The first episode was about we animated our logo, Kyla Bear, and so the first episode is about the onset of type 1 diabetes that the bear begins to experience while in school, and he has this group of friends around him, all of which don't have type 1 diabetes, but they rally to his support because they're concerned about their friend and they see he's struggling, and he's hospitalized and he's in the hospital learning all of these lessons about management. He's able to go back to school and tell his friends about his experience. So it also helps kids with just bringing their friends into their diagnosis because many of them hide it when they're at pizza parties or birthday parties and eating cake and all of these
Mm-hmm.
high carb foods and not checking their glucose or taking any insulin because they don't want to be different. They want to be just like their friends and just enjoy the party. So this hopefully this will help with just teaching kids how to bring their friends into management as well.
Welcome diabetes to the party.
Oh
Like,
yes,
there you go.
we in here.
To roof off this.
So cute. That's awesome. I just want to, again, before we close out today, to say how appreciative I am for both of you and all of the resources that you're providing in the community. We're in this together, Kyle. Just like you said, there's not one of us that benefits without using help, from the rest of us, and vice versa. It's just we're a huge family in some sense. I like to think of it like that. And I love how you've both used your diagnosis in such a short period of time to make a lasting impact on the lives of people in the community. So before we close out, a couple more questions. Kyle, I'll start with you. Um, where can people go to get more involved and support the work that you're doing at Kyler Cares?
Visit us at our website. There is a section where you can just leave your information if you're interested in volunteering, if you want to donate, or if you're just looking for resources that we offer. It's all available on our website, kylercares.org.
Beautiful. And I know you have some exciting projects coming up in the pipeline. Is there anything that you are open to sharing with us right now, or is it all like we need to wait and see?
Well, no, it's no big secret. We are working with New York City Public Schools. It's the largest school system in the country, and there are over 2,000 kids in the school system living with type 1 diabetes, all experiencing like varied health outcomes. So we're um, we're there to just help support the kids and the students and their families and their caregivers. I said, to just make sure they have the resources they need to just lead full and productive lives and focus on their academics and less on diabetes while in the school setting.
That's great. That's exciting too. Like, congratulations. That's a big deal.
Oh, thank you. We're excited, and something we hope we can spread to school systems around the country. It's a great testing ground for the interventions that we're offering.
Yes. Well, we're excited to support you here at Beyond Type 1, however we can do that. And so just thank you for all the work that you're doing in the diabetes community. Like, it's only like it's insane to think that you've only had diabetes for 9 years and you've done so much. And so I am just incredibly proud of you as a friend,
Oh,
and look forward to just cheering you on throughout the rest of this journey.
thank you.
Um, and Carlos, big question for you. As you continue your Be Snow Mode company and just leveraging your platform and your voice in the type 2 community, and even helping people with type 1, what impact do you hope to leave on the diabetes community? And how can we continue to support you?
Just wanted to snowball. I just want me to help one person. That one person, like, helps two people, and so on and so on. We just want to spread on the information, not like telephone, actual real information through just conversations, DMs, emails, even Snapchats and stuff like that. Just having fun with it and just going through the process of knowing community, learning, even if you're non-diabetics or anything like that, just have the education and able to help somebody. I just want the impact I want to leave is just to lead the world a better place than when I found it. And then hopefully at my 9 year mark, I'm down there. I'm like Kyler down there, killing it. And I appreciate you doing everything for your community in your area up there. I may not be as big as you, small peanuts down here, but at least we're down here. I'm doing a little at a time. But
Oh,
my work, I want to be just like you, Kylie, doing everything I can for my community even more.
oh, Carlos, sound like you're already doing it, man. And thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate, those words of support and just supporting each other. Tiana, I've always felt that from you. And, that's what it's about. Because, we're all in it for the same goal. And that's people just being able to be healthy and normal
Mhm. And happy.
and happy. Yes.
And both of have the biggest and most contagious smiles and personalities. And I told you both, like, you bring so much positivity and joy into my life. And so I can only imagine the lives that you're impacting on a day to day. Thank you both for taking your time to join us here and just being vulnerable with us today. but also for being the advocates that you are in your own communities and providing resources for those who really need them. So this was a great episode. You guys catch us next month. We'll have another amazing panel, but we can't wait to see you guys there. So thank you both.
Thank you. This was fun.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Kyle and Carlos. We appreciate you being here today. We also recommend visiting beyondtype1.org, where we have thousands of resources for all things you might need to know about diabetes. This is a wonderful place to find answers to a majority of questions as you navigate life living with diabetes. We hope to see you there. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Community Table, presented by Beyond Type 1 and made possible with support from Lilly Diabetes and Dexcom.